In the 3 previous videos, we talked about the first, second and third ayah of Surah Al-Muzammil. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing about the 4th ayah in this surah. But before we dive into this ayah, we're going to be revising the previous 2 ayahs, ayat number 2 and 3 from Surah Al-Muzammil. So let's start with the recitation of these 2 ayats. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا صدق الله العظيم. So basically, Kum means stand up, rise. Al-Layl means the night. Illa means except. Qalila means a little, a small amount or slightly. So this ayah is talking about standing at night. For maximum amount of night, save a little. And then the next ayah says, Nisfahu, half of it. Half of what? Half of the night. Stand half of the night. Or, aw means or. Inkus, decrease. Minhu, from it. Qalila, a little, a small amount, slightly. So this one is telling or giving us a door, a way to decrease from that amount of night, for the half of the night even more. So now we have this ayah, our today's ayah, which also talks about standing at night. And it also talks about something a little more. So now let's begin with the recitation of today's ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا صدق الله العظيم. So the letters in this ayah, I thought we should take a little different turn in analyzing the letters. So the symbolic meaning that I am going to be discussing about in this video do not come from the tafsir, but they come from the spiritual traditions aiming to contemplate the Quran beyond the surfaces. And they're often used in Sufi poetry, mysticism, or numerological meditation. So this was a little turn that I thought we should take in understanding these letters. So the first letter here we have is Alif, and its symbolic meaning is unity, oneness of God. And people say that the vertical shape of Alif symbolizes standing straight before Allah. And in Sufi view, this represents the divine essence. Then we have Wow, which is the symbolism of connection, union, or love. And if we see the shape of Wow, it's like a loop or a circle, which can symbolize eternal return or divine embrace. And it's used in Arabic as and too. So Wow, the letter Wow is used as and in the Arabic language, emphasizing unity between ideas. Then we have Za, which symbolizes inner beauty or hidden knowledge, and it's associated with motion, as when we say the word Za, the letter Za, there's a vibration that occurs in our mouth. So it can show energy or divine spark. Then we have Dal, which is a symbol of guidance, path or door. It's seen as an opening towards truth or realization. Then we have Ain, which represents inner sight, spiritual vision, and sometimes divine knowledge. And Sufis interpret this as the eye of the heart. Ainul Qalb. It's also called as Ainul Qalb, the eye of the heart. And this letter could also symbolize depth and awareness. Then we have Lam, which some people interpret as the divine tablet and love. And in mystic traditions, it bends like, so when we look at the shape of Lam, it bends like a bow, which is showing submission to God. Then we have Ha, which is a symbol of divine presence, as it's also called as the breath of life. And when we say the word ha, letter ha, it's like a gentle, breathy sound that comes out of our mouth, which is interpreted as like the sigh of the soul. Then we have Ra, which is the symbol of command, divine majesty, and radiance. When we say the letter Ra, it has a powerful sound. It is associated with spiritual authority. Then we have Ta, which is the sign of transformation, action, and motion. And it also represents the feminine energy in Arabic grammar, and it's connected with creation. Then we have Qaf, which is associated with the mysteries of the unseen, Al-Ghaib. And we know that Surah Al-Qaf begins with this letter, and which is hinting at cosmic secrets. Then we have Noon, which is the symbol of divine ink, or the pen, qalam, connected to knowledge, destiny, and creation through words. So these were the letters in this ayah. Now we're going to move on to the words, each keyword in this ayah. The first word in this ayah is aw, which means or. We talked about aw in the previous two ayats too. So aw means or. So it's connecting this ayah to the previous ayah. So the previous ayah we're talking about standing at night. And so this means this ayah is adding a little bit more to what we already discussed. So aw means or. It's a choice, a flexibility in this divine command. It shows mercy in this command. So Allah is giving you options. It's giving you more options, easing the burden. Then we have zid. Zid means increase. So or increase. Zid is a call to elevate, to go beyond the minimum, to seek more light. It symbolizes growth, rising above the getting into your spiritual ambitions. Then we have alayhi. Alayhi means upon it. Increase upon it. And literally it refers back to what we said before, as I said. Increase upon it, upon the night, upon the standing at night. Aw. Aw means aw and we discussed before that aw is wow. Here we have va, not aw, sorry. Va means and, it's a connector. So here, this part of the ayah is talking about increasing the nightstand. And then it's connecting to, this wow is connecting to something else here. So now it's saying ratal, recite in measured tones. We usually interpret ratal as recite in measured tones. We're going to be discussing about ratal a bit more later. Right now, let's put recite in measured tones in mind. So, recite in measured tones. What exactly? Al-Qur'an, the Qur'an. Recite in measured tones, the Qur'an. And then we have Tertila, with measured recitation. Recite in measured tones, the Qur'an, with measured recitation, which is a beautiful way of saying how to recite the Qur'an. So now let's deep dive into the word ratal and tartil. But before that, let's just admire the beauty of this ayah, as this is the first time when we talk about how Qur'an was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. This was the first time that the word Qur'an itself was used in an ayah, and this is that ayah. So Qur'an is interpreted as the word Qur'an means something that is recited repeatedly. And now we are going to be discussing about ratal and tartil. Ratal is actually a command verb, which is an imperative word. It comes from the verb ratal, and ratal means recite slowly and clearly. So it's an imperative word. And tartil is a verbal noun, which is also called as masdar. So it's the name of the verb. So if we talk about the relation, ورتل means imperative verb and ترتيل is verbal noun or masdar. ورتل means recite and ترتيل means recitation, so which is specifically slow, clear or rhythmic. And ورتل again is an action, ترتيل is the manner of the action. ورتل is the command to recite and ترتيل is the description of how that recitation should be done. So we can say that the verse is literally saying recite the Quran in a measured, clear way. So this is how we interpret it usually. So it emphasizes both the action and its quality. If we go a bit more deeper into ورتل and ترتيل, we find that, and we see the linguistic depth of ترتيل, we find that the root of the ترتيل is ra, ta and lam, which means to arrange in perfect order, to pace steadily, to articulate clearly and beautifully, to leave no gaps or confusion between parts. While as ترتيل is more than just slow recitation, it's deliberate, rhythmic and mindful arrangement of words, and it implies beauty, clarity, reflection and precision. And we learn that in some Arabic usage, ورتل is described as the perfect alignment of teeth. So when someone has teeth that are absolutely perfect or symmetrical or elegant, it's called as ورتل. So, and when my father told me about this, he said, how do you see somebody has perfect teeth? And the answer to that was, we look it up and down, we go deep inside it, we go out, we analyze it up, down, left, right, here and there, everywhere. So basically from that we can conclude it is saying that the recitation of the Quran should be with beautiful arrangement. The recitation should be without haste, in a way that every word enters the soul. And when we talk about the spiritual dimension of tartil, we find that tartil is not for just the tongue, it is for the soul. This command isn't just about reciting, it's about internalizing what is said in the Quran. So tartil invites you to let each and every word of the Quran enter your heart and pause on the verses, each verse, and contemplate with each and every message, warning or comfort, and allow the Quran to transform your inner world as well as your outer world. So tartil connects you to divine rhythm. So tartil connects you to divine rhythm. The Quran, to recite it with tartil, mirrors the divine order in creation. That the rhythm, it shows the rhythm of the universe, the breath of the life, the heartbeat of existence. So reciting the Quran with tartil aligns with your inner rhythm, with the rhythm of the cosmos. It's kind of a spiritual synchrony. So when we look at tartil, we can also see it as a healing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that healing isn't rushed, but the Quran says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that healing isn't just rushed, it's a remedy that takes time to seep into the bloodstream. So tartil allows you to dive deep into the words, to soak slowly into the heart of what is being said. So it heals doubt with certainty, confusion with clarity, loneliness with divine compassion. So in summary, we can say that tartil is the art of falling in love with the Quran, one word at a time. It's not about how much you recite, it's about how deeply you listen to each verse, how fully your soul leans in to receive it. So when we put it all together and we interpret it in kind of a way, so it's saying, this ayah is saying, or add to it and recite the Quran with slow measured recitation. So if we talk about its deep interpretation, we can say that the deep interpretation of this ayah is that if your soul longs for more, then rise beyond. Let your devotion increase, but do not rush. Let every moment of your prayer and every word of the Quran be a sacred unfolding. Speak the verses not as mere words, but as revelation upon your heart. Let each syllable be a drop of divine rain, slowly sinking into the soil of your spirit, giving life to your understanding. For in the stillness of measured recitation, your soul will meet the one who speaks beyond time. So this was the fourth ayah of this surah, and I thank you all for listening, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.